Let's go to London. France 24's Bénédicte Paviot is there for us now. And Bénédicte, tell us a bit more about that decision not to send Assange to face trial in the US.
Well, this is a very significant battle that has been won by Julian Assange. It is a surprise decision. Vanessa Barreza, the judge, seemed to be going down the path of rejecting the defense arguments against an extradition when she suddenly, at the end of her explanation, announced that she was refusing the American request for an extradition for Julian Assange on mental health grounds. She said that he was a severe suicide risk and that the 49-year-old Australian, that there was no guarantee that the Americans could ensure that he would not commit suicide and take his own life in an American jail. What you're hearing behind is our supporters who have been waiting for the defence team to come out and talk to them. But let's talk to somebody who was in court, the only NGO consistently throughout these hearings, and that is Reporters Without Borders, Rebecca Vincent. Rebecca, thank you for joining us. What's your reaction to this decision? Are you pleased with this result?
Our immediate reaction is one of relief that Mr. Assange will not be extradited to the US to face prosecution on these charges. And we do share the judge's assessment of his mental health state. These are concerns that we've voiced for some time. We've said that his extradition could be a possible matter of life or death, and this is why. So we were pleased that those issues were recognized and that the decision was against extradition. However, we are concerned about other aspects of the decision today, because what we heard is on substantive ground, the judge seemed to be ready to send him to the US to face trial under the Espionage Act charges and under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act charge there. She dismissed claims such as the fact that this case was politically motivated, that it was about free speech or journalism, and accepted many of the prosecution's arguments. So that's disturbing to us, because that means that if the mental health issues were not at play, somebody else in the same situation could actually be prosecuted in the United States.
So concretely, what we believe is happening to Julian Assange is that the appeal now will be heard on Wednesday for his bail. Meanwhile, Julian Assange, 20 months in Belmarsh Prison in southeast London, is going back tonight to jail.
He should not have been there in the first place. He should not spend another night behind bars, and we call again for his urgent release now. The continued detention of this man, who the court has now recognized is vulnerable, has these serious mental health issues, these will only be exacerbated the longer he remains in prison, not to mention the additional health risk now of COVID, which is on the rise seriously in his prison block. There are dozens of cases which has confined him nearly continuously to his cell for several weeks now. He needs to be let go without further delay.
Were you actually surprised? It seemed not just in the ruling of the judge, but also it seemed that despite the strong defence, this has caught everybody by surprise, including Assange's defence team?
It was certainly surprising to us, both in terms of the longer case. Things very much felt stacked against him. On a personal level, I was surprised that the decision was then against extradition. But even in the room as it was being read out, because until the judge came to that point at the end about mental health, it very much seemed that she was about set to make a ruling for extradition.
And the American authorities seem to be indicating that they will appeal this very significant, let's point out, first win for Julian Assange in his 10-year legal battle. The Americans are going to appeal, aren't they?
Yes, they will appeal. Hopefully nothing will change. Hopefully the Court of Appeals will uphold this decision, but we have no guarantee of such, of course, so we will continue to monitor and to stick with that. And the important point is that in the meantime that Mr. Assange should be let go, because the judge does have the power to keep him in custody until the appeals process is exhausted, even though the decision has been in his favor.
But she must be worried about a flight risk in just a few seconds?
She could state such, but I think there are reasonable grounds for his release immediately. Again, the mental health issues, the health issues, and it would be at this point just adding to this existing travesty and tragedy for her to keep him behind bars any longer.
Rebecca Vincent, clearly the battle is not completely over. He goes back to prison tonight. The co-founder of WikiLeaks will be relieved, no doubt, with this decision, but he will still battle on for his freedom from that British jail, Belmarsh Prison, where he will sleep again tonight.
Bénédicte, thank you very much indeed. Bénédicte Paviot there reporting from London.